Squeegee Podcast, episode 13, with Fred from Master Stitch.
All good. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Can we start by just introducing yourself and saying like what your business is?
I'm Freddie Craze. I'm the owner of Master Stitch Embroidery and Master Stitch Print Apparel. No, Master Print Apparel. Sorry, not Master Stitch. Confused. We're based in Watford. That's just outside of northwest London. We are predominantly an embroidery company, but we also are a facilitator for all garment needs. Basically, we have contacts with various different people in the industry that offer screen printing, DTG, garment manufacturer, finishing, packaging, and we basically use our contacts to make stuff happen. So we're a one-stop shop in a sense, but we do output a lot of the stuff that we do.
You're a well-connected guy.
Yeah, I've built up the contacts over the years. Had to go through some not so good ones to get to the good ones. Like anything in life, you have to maybe go down one road and then realize, actually, no, that's not a good idea. Let's maybe jump ship, or in this instance, maybe just pay a little bit more.
Yeah.
And yeah, just built up the contacts and we use what we've got around us.
Brilliant. So like what kind of like size team are we talking about? Are you like the boss of both companies, or do you have like a partner?
So we're all kind of involved one way or the other when it comes to our ownership and partnerships, but we work closely with two companies. We work with a company called Quick Shirts based in Harlow, and they are predominantly screen print, but they also do DTG. Really good company, really good work ethic. They just get on with it. There's no emotion involved. They just want to print t-shirts, which is a good thing. And then we also work with another company called Fresh Air, which is a larger screen print operation based in Brent Cross in northwest London. They also do DTG, do drop shipping and fulfillment. That's probably the main hub there. But my time and what I do and what I'm involved is pretty much solely to do with Master Stitch. I am 100% owner of Master Stitch, so I just concentrate most of my time here.
Brilliant. How did you get into it? How did you start in the industry?
I'm third generation in this.
Are you? Wow, serious?
Yeah, so I was just born into it. I didn't really have a choice. Just had to go with it, but I guess I got lucky in a way where I'm working in an industry where I've kind of got a bit of a head start because of relationships that are already there with generations before me. So I guess that's kind of a help, but it can also be a bit of a hindrance depending on who you ask. You don't get to be in the industry for 35, 40 years and not step on any toes. So most people, they like me.
So it carries on anything that your dad did? Yeah. Of
course. But I'm Master Stitch just does its own thing, kind of thing. We're not any a normal embroidery company. We don't do work where we don't do.
Yeah.
We don't try and compete with an already heavily congested market. I found that just like screen print as well, anybody really can buy a machine and anyone can produce prints relatively easy. Whether they're good is a different question, but one colour's on a screen print, a 5,000 stitch, one colour embroidery left chest is not difficult to produce.
No.
So, the prices over the years have been coming down. The problem is that wages and machinery and rent is going up.
Yeah.
So race to the bottom. So we try and do something a little bit differently where we give more of a personal service, but we provide garment decoration in a sense. I
Mm.
think now, especially with the people that I work with, it's predominantly brands.
Yeah.
And they want someone to kind of take care of everything. And I feel like if you take all of the hassle and the hardship out of actually producing a brand and let the creative concentrate on being a creative, you'll do a lot better.
Yeah.
And if you can catch these brands early, you can grow with them and they stay loyal, you know, and you can charge them that extra bit of money, but you have to give the extra bit of care and time.
Mm.
There's no 9 to 5 here. There's no Monday to Friday here. I know it sounds cheesy, but it's a lifestyle rather than a job.
Mm.
So,
No, I believe screen printers, very much like tattooists and other kind of like parallel industries, we do take it as a lifestyle. I think, yeah, some of the like 9 to 5 people, they're more like workwear and digital print. But I think we're like probably over here on this is what we do. This is like part of our identity even. I find it really interesting like, trying to do research on you because it's so hard.
there's nothing. That's for a reason. That's for
I
a
know,
reason.
I know now. Now it's all like making sense because I'm kind of like seeing your Instagram and I'm seeing like your promo videos are almost like music videos.
I know.
Yeah.
Good, aren't they?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Talk to me about like how you went about that, or is it the brands want that and you're just giving it to them? Or
do you know what? So we don't have a website.
yeah.
We don't advertise anywhere except Instagram. Now, I'm 29. I got into this industry, like I've been involved in it all my life. I probably took it serious at like 2021. And I was a young guy in an industry full of older people doing things the old way, right? I thought, well, how am I going to change this up? And I thought, well, when I look for certain services in my local area or services that, you know, may not be a very common thing, I tend to use social media rather than, you know, a old-fashioned search engine of a Google or a Yahoo or whatever, because I like to see pictures. I think what, you know, not just the younger crowd, but I think everyone now just loves the instant gratification of looking at pictures and getting what they want without having to troll through a load of text.
Yeah, because you can cheat text, but you can't cheat the images, I suppose.
Exactly. And an image, it's like it's real life. So you can see, you know, if you're a plumber, right, and you're advertising outside taps for £70, you know, you've got a sale on at the moment and you want to promote it, well, you're going to see a lot more, you're going to engage with a lot more people on social media rather than a Google, because for Google, someone has to search for that. But with the social media, if you do your sponsored ads in the right way, it will target the people that, you know, might have looked on Amazon how much an outside tap is.
Yeah.
Or, you know, something like that. Or, you know, if you're trying to sell skateboards, you want to try and project that to the skateboarders. So rather than then having to come to you, you're going to them.
And following them around.
You're
Yeah.
planting the idea, you know. But those videos, I just feel like everyone does the same thing now. And I feel like you've got to be a little bit different. You've got to stand out and you've got to make a little bit of noise, you know, because where we don't advertise on Google, or, you know, can't find our number anywhere, it's very difficult to find our address.
Yeah, you're a ghost. The only trace of you is company's house.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, how am I going to research this? And it's like,
it's, you know, social media now, as everyone knows, is such a big tool, especially for a business like ours, where we, you know, we specialize. So really what we specialize in and what we've become quite, I wouldn't say famous for, but well known, is 3D embroidery onto caps.
yes. Yeah, I kind of got that. That's really...
We've kind of cracked that now. There's one other guy who I have so much respect for, right? Because I've seen him grow. It's Mr. Snappy. He is the custom.
Mr. Snappy.
He is the custom cat guy, right? Shout out to Simon.
Right.
He is, the stuff he does is unbelievable, but he's more geared up to like one-offs.
Okay.
And you pay for what you get with him.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to do is like come in a little bit, you know, just under him, be more affordable wholesale. Because
like more units.
We've got the setup here, but I think it's really important now that you use the tools that you've got around you, and for what it costs to promote on Instagram, and for what it costs to make a music video style 1 minute video, it's, you know, under £1,000 to do the video and to do a 30-day promotion on Instagram where you're spending enough money to get the audience. So if you're going to spend £1,000 on that, I know people that spend tens of thousands of pounds on Google Ads trying to be the top one.
Or even worse, magazines. Like
I've been in some of the magazines, right? But not to try and get work. It's more to say like hi to everyone. You know, I think
dip out.
Yeah, I think the magazines are good for like, you know, the AWDs of the world and the Rallywisers and all that, like the big boys, right? I think for the actual printers and embroiderers and smaller guys, I don't think it's any good. You know, for what they charge, is it really worth it?
I don't think so. I think using something free that can like go viral all on its own, and you're getting 2.5 million like views on it, and you put very little, you put like thought into it and you know how it works, but the actual time investment and money investment is very minimal. So yeah, I think the people who are winning now are the creators who are creative and like consuming this kind of like social media. So you're actually like involved in it, using it as a communication tool. Then we're just going to win, because I'm getting paid by TikTok now.
Really?
So it's like, yeah, not much, but I get paid to market and other people pay to market, and it doesn't go anywhere. And you can't tell with magazines, can you?
It's difficult. I think
feedback,
right? Social media, especially in our industry, is the way. That's where you're going to get the most connection. That's where you're going to get the most views, the most traffic. You know, that's where you're going to get the most interaction. The world has changed, right? Screen printing itself is still done the same way. Yes, there's LED exposures now. Yes, there's all this and you know, quick fire emulsion or whatever. You know, I haven't screen printed in a long time. So if I say anything wrong,
no,
upset, right?
I haven't got all the toys. But
there's all of these newer technologies, but the basis of screen print is still the same. And it has been ever since my granddad was bootlegging, you know, Lecoq Sportif back in the 70s and 80s. It's still the same process. But the world has moved on. And I feel like screen printers are almost still looked at as like a dirty, smelly job, which, you know, most of the time it is. But with social media, where people can see your day to day and they can see, oh, it's not always spraying chemicals on the screens. There's actually some cool things involved in it. And there's, you know, there's a lifestyle attached to it. I think it will only do massive things, because the thing that scares me is that I don't actually know any screen printers that can print by hand.
Me?
Under the age of 25.
No.
I'm sure there's probably people that watch this that are 18, you know, 17, and that's great. The problem is, I feel like because there's that stigma attached to it, there's no young kids coming through.
Oh, right.
And I feel like, you know, Instagram is where all the young kids are at. Everyone's out there, but the young kids especially are there every day on it. And if they can see that it's not all chemicals and, you know, bad times, then I think they'll go, actually, this is quite cool. Something different. It's a trade for life.
Do you think they want a quick fix? Like they want DTG, they want, you know, on demand, right now, samples, all that kind of stuff. They don't want to put in the work.
They want to use someone else, you know, and they'll go to a, you know, they'll go to a Teespring or a Red Bubble or one of these lot, and all they'll do is just DTG it out to big DTG companies in the UK, you know. One of those big DTG companies just sold for a lot of money. There's rumours of over £20 million, UK-based DTG company, you know. So the big companies are just going to get bigger, I think. And I think the smaller guys are going to slowly die out, you know. That's what I've seen. And only because I'm based in Watford, right? So we're kind of between London and Luton. Now, I know all the printers in London. I know all the printers in Leicester. I know all the printers in Birmingham. And what's happened is, especially because of COVID as well.
COVID's knocked out a massive sweep of unexpected ones as well. Like, yeah.
And it's just, you know, now there's probably, if you asked me 10 years ago how many printers were about, you know, there'd be quite a few, but now, you know, I could probably name on 10 fingers, you know. I know of 4 or 5 in Leicester that dropped within a year. A couple of the London ones went down, you know.
Yeah. Can I ask you about these caps? Because I feel like your audience, you could correct me as soon as I say something wrong, but your audience seems to be like in the music industry, and then but kind of also brands as well. So I've noticed just people like, is D Block and Trotters, are they like music artists? Are they
D Block Europe? D Block Europe is a UK rap duo.
Right.
They're quite big in what they do. Maybe listen to their songs. They're you know, they're a little bit they're a mixture between Kanye West and someone like Heady One, if you know who that is.
I don't know who that is, but I feel like I need to do some homework. I said, did I say grime a second ago? My music taste is awful, but
So I like everything, right? I love drum and bass. I love heavy metal. I love rap. I love like rockabilly. I love jazz and blues. I love country and western. Like, I'm a big country and western fan, right? But
I am too.
I love, but it's about how I feel at the time. That sounds weird. Like if I'm going through a different mood, or I'm stressed out, or, you know, if I'm having a bad day, I'll listen to certain songs. You know, they can put you in a better mood. And if you're sad as well, you know, and you listen to heartbreak songs, you know, it's all that in it. But predominantly,
he's listening to Johnny. Let Johnny Cash, we better stay away from him for a bit.
I predominantly work within the urban music scene. Yeah. In mainly London, but we do the rest of the UK as well. And I work with street urban brands, and I also work with jewelers. That seems to be our new thing. So Trotters is a big jewelry company. They've got 3 different shops across London, buy and sell luxury items such as, you know, Rolex watches, chains, all of that stuff. And I just went there one day making a purchase. They gave me a cap that they had made in China, and it was terrible quality. And me being the guy that I am, I just turned around and said, "Boys, I'm really sorry, but this is quite crap." Yeah. And they said, "Well, what do you mean?" I said, "Well, send me the PDF in 2 days, send you a sample." We did. And then they just started ordering a lot of caps, and they allowed us to do the video. And then from that, like anything, once someone's seen that one of the larger companies in the industry is working with you, everybody wants to work with you, you know? So we've kind of found a nice little niche there.
Yeah, it looks like you're kind of like doing the kind of like handshake work of getting the customers, probably like how your dad and your granddad did. So you're staying in your community, but then that all the new business is kind of, that is still word of mouth, because surely those music, the rappers and stuff, they're all just going to be talking, and they're going to be seeing who else uses them. So yeah, you're just sticking to word of mouth and your reputation, really, aren't you?
But do you know what's difficult, right?
Mm.
And you'll find this in anything. Some people, they don't want to give up the plug, in a sense.
Mm.
You know? And I found that, you know, if I want to speak to certain people, I might ask someone and they'll go, no, I'm not going to give you his number. Because they don't want that connect. I know it's weird, it's strange. So we've built it up over the last years, but you are right in a sense. It's the handshake, but it's also knocking on doors. I'm a big believer that if you just go out there and ask, the worst you're going to get is no, but you can get a yes. And to be honest, if you're in the right place at the right time, you can get some great opportunities, but it's also being able to back up what you say. That's another thing, you know. And I think you have to practice what you preach, and that's how you get judged. You know, there's that saying, isn't it? You have to judge the tree by the fruit it bears, not by the fruit it talks about. In this industry, if you say you're going to do it and you don't, you'll lose that customer, you'll lose that relationship. You can do 100 good jobs and not hit anything back. You do that one job, and it's like the world's ended. One bad job, it's like the world has ended. Yeah,
it's hard not to take something like that personal as well. But I found that every time I've like actively gone and sought out a particular customer, I've always got them. And if you sit back, which you can't do during COVID, because your normal customers might fall off a cliff, or they can't afford to come and buy off you, they literally haven't got money at that point, certain industries, then no one owes you anything. If you've got a website and a business, no customers, you're not owed a certain threshold of work. No one's supposed to support their local screen printer or anything like that. We have to like go out and make it work. And if anyone's sitting back and not, expecting people to just come across them, they're the people who are going to fizzle out, I think.
You have to kind of, in anything you do in life, you have to kind of put all of your effort into it, And when I mean all your effort, I mean everything, because a lot of the time when you run your own business, it's shit or bust, right? And it's what you do at that moment when you're given that opportunity, or someone says, actually go and see him, I heard he wants some bits done. If you don't go, you're never going to know what's happened, right? But then if you go and you're in the wrong mind frame, or you're wrong, you go there, you've got the wrong attitude, you can lose it. So you've always got to be 100% on it. And that's where I go back to say, like, it's the lifestyle thing, because you can't switch off, and it becomes like a monster, right?
Here we go. Now we're digging, Freddie.
Like it consumes you, but it can consume you in a good way or a bad way, because at the end of the day, this is how I pay my bills. And why do we all wake up in the morning? Really, we got bills to pay.
Yeah.
We want the nice house. We want the 2 cars. We want a holiday to wherever once a year. So you really, you don't have a choice when it's on you.
Yeah.
When you work for someone, you can kind of bend the rules a bit. You can, if you're having a sick day and all of that stuff. But when you actually run your own shit, you've got to be there all the time. Now, you can take that on good days, you can take that on bad days. Some days, it's like the world's going to end. The next day, it's like no buzz I've ever felt in my life.
Yeah.
Right? it's such an up and down thing, but you have to just accept it. If you want to succeed, I think you have to sacrifice all the things as well and just get on with it.
How have you like built a team who's all kind of like got the same mindset?
Through hardship, And
do you like hire quickly and fire quickly, or
no.
What's your cultivating it? Or
when I do my job ads, right, I might get 100 applicants, right, and 10 of them might have embroidery experience. So I'll go through and I'll shortlist the 10. I'll then have interviews. Now, I don't care about a CV. I don't care if you've been to university. I don't care if you've got a criminal record. I'm not really too fussed about your past and your education. What I'm more fussed about is your attitude and can you frame garments? Because that is what this job is. I'm looking at who you are, you know, not what a piece of paper says.
Yeah, because it's quite a frustrating job, isn't it, running embroidery?
You got
to like, but yeah, go on, say it, yeah.
I can turn the machine on, that's it.
Really?
That's it.
Love that. Well, you shouldn't, if you're the owner of the business, technically you shouldn't be a technician, but that is really interesting.
But I know just through watching every process, I know how the machine works. I know the noises. I know it sounds weird, but the noises to listen for, right? I know what backing paper to use for what. I know, you know, what threads to use for 3D embroidery. I know what I need to know, but the main thing is I'm looking for the quality. I know what I want, right? And going back to what you said about the staff, I'm very lucky that finally I've got quite a strong little crew that know what has to be done and know the time frames, and they just get on with it. Yes, there's up and downs, but there's more ups than there is downs. But I employ like a young crew.
Yeah, I noticed that. I think you can only see like tiny little bits of it, but I think you'd have to be.
They're hungry.
Yeah.
When you're working 60, 70 hours a week, you know, there's got to be an incentive. And when you're at a young age, when you're coming up, the incentive is to try and build up money, really. You know? So while they're young and they don't have responsibilities of children's and heavy relationships and mortgages, they can build up money and have a nice lifestyle, you know? You're not getting paid £9 an hour when you're coming to do this job. It kind of, it needs more of a person that, how do I explain it? You need to get the right sort of person in. The right sort of person is not going to work for £9 an hour.
Right.
So
that's really interesting. Yeah.
It's not cheap to get good people, but good people will make you more money. Right? I know I keep talking about money. Right?
No, I'm actually very open about talking about money, and there are a lot of people that I talk to even that they're like, oh yeah, but I'm not in it for the money, and that's good for them. But I feel like it's my job to monetize all of my skills and make the best possible lifestyle for me and my family.
100%.
And like, without money, I can't do the things that I want to do, like give to the charities that I want to do. I want to go traveling. I want to invest in things that I want to invest in. So yeah, I'm not here as a charity case doing any job that walks in the door. I think I've got probably more aligned with what you're saying.
It's difficult. It's difficult to get that you know, that perfect recipe. But see, with money, right? I'm a businessman that runs an embroidery shop, that owns an embroidery shop, right? That's how I make my money. Now, I am very money driven by what I do. I will break down everything in my head into figures. I process jobs while the customer's speaking, telling me, So I can already give them a price. As soon as they say, so how much is that going to be? I've got a price already figured out. And I always overshot it as well a little bit. If they come back, there's always got to be a little bit of wiggle room.
Yeah.
But I think if people go into owning a business, not working a job, but owning a business, and money isn't one of their number one goals, they shouldn't be doing that, because whether anyone likes this or not, money equals freedom.
Yeah.
And it's the freedom that we all want, Maybe not everyone wants a big 5-bed house and all that, and like I said, but everybody wants freedom to go and do what they want to do. Nobody wants to work, right? Nobody in their right mind actually wants to go and work unless they work
You're thinking of someone who wants to go to work. The Pope.
A teacher, someone that's maybe going to get some other satisfaction rather than being paid for their time.
Right.
I mean, there's binmen that absolutely love their job.
Yeah.
Right. And then there's lawyers that absolutely hate their job, and there's doctors that absolutely hate their job. Or there's, accountants earning £250,000 that hate their job, but they're stuck there because of the money. Everyone had a choice, right? No one would work. We'd all be living a high life, but you can only wish. The freedom thing for me is such an important aspect, because.
Do you think you would actually just be able to be transferred into a lot of different businesses, or is this the trade that you love, like kind of working in, because it just suits you?
I've done a lot of things in my life. I've done a lot of good jobs. I've done a lot of bad jobs. I've done maybe jobs that I shouldn't have been doing, right? But I've learned all different tools along the way, right? So I think I could go into a different industry, and I still do dabble in other things. Like I've got a partnership in a boxing gym that I'm involved with. I buy and sell cars on the side. Like I'm still a hustler in a sense. But I think because I've been doing this for so long, I think as you get a bit older, you struggle to I
don't think you can say that yet. You're not over 30.
Readjust, but don't forget, I've been doing this, a long time. I've been involved in this industry for 13, 14 years. I remember middleman in my first job when I was 15. It was 20 t-shirts for a local football team. So I've been doing it a long time. I had to deal with the stresses of it for a long time.
Well, what kind of advice would you give to somebody coming in quite fresh and green and thinking that they can do what you're doing? What kind of things would you tell them to avoid, or would you say, do you know what, the best thing that I've done is not having a website, or what's the only thing you'd tell them?
I think everybody is different, right? And everybody's in a different way, so it's very difficult to say this. But if you're asking me, I would avoid trying to do something that everyone else is doing, right? I would specialize in something, and I'd do everything, because I wouldn't just pigeonhole myself. I don't want to do that. But I would specialize in one thing, and I would just promote the hell out of it. If I was 18 again, starting in 2022, I would skip the manual screen print part.
Yeah.
I would go straight into either a DTG or a DTF. But to be honest, on most of the DTGs now, you can print DTF. I would look at forging relationships with big printers I can use to get jobs quickly done at a competitive price at good quality. I would be looking at who can I use around me to make myself look better.
Right. Okay.
If you just use what you can output, you're limited. For instance, if you're a small print shop, and you've got a 4-colour
Yeah, you can only get a certain amount done in a day.
You can only do, and you've got to do a 4-colour print, 3-colour print with a white flash. That job's going to, to print 100 shirts, you're going to be there a long while, right?
Yeah.
Where you could pay someone £1 a print. Yes, you're not going to make as much money, but it's constant. Now, I believe the world is all about middlemen. There's only a few key players that actually produce things and make things, and there's loads of other people, there's loads of other industries created around moving the things around between the middlemen. And people make a little bit of a commission. They might make 10p here, they might make £1 there, but it's over millions of products a year. Now, if you can implement that into the garment trade and offering people, print services and all of that, you're going to be laughing. But that doesn't mean that you don't have to put the work in, because the work's going to be on the phone, the work's going to be going out people, the work's going to be going to the print shop to go and check the quality of the prints.
So you're saying, like, take your hands off the actual trade and the manual labour, because it's really in the trades and the deals.
If you're looking to start small, I believe build up a reputation first and a client base first. Get to a point where you go, okay, I'm making this amount of money now. Now I can buy my own machinery. Try and, I know it's difficult, but try and skip that first step, because sometimes that first step is the longest to get out of.
Yeah, it is. You
take that massive step. I remember when I set up Master Print in 2015 on the 8th of June, and my mum lent me 10 grand, right?
Yeah.
And I bought a 6-colour M&R Cruiser.
Yeah.
I bought a BBC Flash, the green one.
You basically got what I've got. Yeah.
An old Panther 600 Texie tunnel, right?
Yeah.
And I bought some inks and some squeegees and some spatulas and all that. And I set this place up on a farm in a tack shed, right?
Nice.
And I just started to message people, right? This is when I started on my own. I started to message people on Instagram that I was interested in. I used to be a bit of a raver back in the day, like drum and bass raves and jungle. So I thought, right, I love the music, I love the scene, I know who's big, I know there's a following, what should I do? So I messaged one of the guys, the MCs. I said, this is what I do, I'd love to do some samples for you, la-di-la-di-la. He read the message, didn't get back to me. I thought, okay. So I messaged again in a week. Hi, just a little recap. Is there anything I can do? Any chance you could send me a PO box address? I'll see some samples, la-di-la-di-la. Nothing. Read the message, nothing, right? The third time.
It's plain hard to get.
I messaged him and I said, give me a chance. What have you got to lose? And he messaged me back and he goes, do you know what? Because you messaged the third time, we're going to work. So it kind of snowballed from there. But what I found is I didn't have my own exposure, didn't have my own way of printing posies. And I used to have to drive 1 hour to go and get the posies, then an hour to go and get the screen exposed, and an hour back just to print.
God, yeah.
There must be an easier way. When you're starting, back to money can be a bit of an issue.
You didn't know about me, did you? I could send you that screen pre-exposed. I'm just winding you up. But yeah.
I'm going to come back to this, because what you've done is a very clever thing, right? If that would have been that would have been brilliant.
Yeah.
But it wasn't at the time.
Yeah.
I'm posies off of Flying Colours that were based in Marlow at the time. Then I'd drive across to Milton Keynes to go and see my mate Chris at the Silk Screen Supply Machine Company. I can't even remember. Great company though. They're based in Bletchley. Really, really good. To do this triangle, right? Come back and print my things. I just thought there must be an easier way. And it took me a long time to get to that next step, where I kind of took a massive risk. I got a place, and I got a 6-head embroidery machine, and I got a DTG.
Mm.
I got an employee, and I was like, it was scary, and it was daunting, and it was like 2 weeks before my son was born.
Right.
So it was all up in the air, right? But it was that shit or bust thing.
Yeah.
Where I'd made this jump now, right? The second jump, and I kind of didn't have a choice. Fell.
Yeah.
And I think that being so, desperate to make it work, I just didn't take no for an answer.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone's like that. So what I suggest to anyone getting new in the industry, unless you've got ambitions of being a big print shop, right? I think concentrate on being a specialist in something.
Yeah.
And let other people do the hard work for you.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah, because you definitely corner that market with the hybrid caps, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but that took. I remember doing the first 3D cap we did here, right, and watching it. It was like, oh wow, you put the foam under it and the stitch on, and we didn't know that, you had to heat gun the foam and poke it all in and all that, and we kind of learned. Now YouTube is a massive tool, right? If screen printers, it's brilliant for anything. We want to change a tire on your new car. Kids now, right, or younger people coming into this, or any age, have got it really good because they've got that expert there in their hand.
There's no excuse.
Like back in the day, kind of thing.
Yeah.
There wasn't that. There was forums on the internet, and there was stuff like that, but screen print was like, it's a trade, it's a skill. Right?
Yeah.
It's a skill that is, perfected over years and years and years. And it's just, I think it's that difficult, hand printing, that it's just like, it just
shows you up. It just shows you up. If you've got any off balance, or you didn't quite hit it right, then you just effed up a whole shirt. It's just very unforgiving, but also really rewarding when you do get it right.
So it's very therapeutic as well. Like when you see what you can create, and all of that. Now don't get me wrong, I wasn't printing 6 colors, micro registration and all that. I used to be known as one color Freddy, right? So when I first started, it was all one color prints. It was predominantly black on white and then white ink on colored shirts.
Yeah.
Right? I remember doing like a first 2 color. It was like a copy, like a rip-off, but not a bootleg, of the Converse.
What's the difference between bootleg and rip-off?
A bootleg is a copy, right?
Right.
And a copy, or a rip-off, is like a look-alike.
Joke version.
So like the Converse, you've got Converse All Stars.
Yeah.
This one that I've done was drum and bass All Stars.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
Sort of thing, innit? Okay. I remember having to get the blue star like perfect, and it took, I'm not even joking, it took me like an hour, like the first time I'd done it. Getting my ruler out and all of that. I was trying to move the board, and it was a nightmare, right? But I just decided use someone else.
You just knew where your skills were, and it wasn't that.
Yeah,
that's funny.
That's it.
Yeah.
Some people they want to do it. It is a skill. It's a trade. To learn everything. It's just like being a bricklayer. A dentist. There's so many different variants. There's so many different parts of it that you're always learning, and the stuff that you pick up, you can take that to any country in the world.
Yeah.
Right?
So, like, when you're like trying to do business decisions, because like something might happen, like you might expand or something. Do you have anyone to talk to who's kind of like a little kind of like a mentor in business that you can go to? Because
I mean,
It's
yeah,
difficult
like
being the boss sometimes, but
quite luckily, right? I see what certain family members have done, and it's not that I ask for advice because I can see what they've done, but I will say stuff like, you know, when did you know it was the right decision or the
yeah,
right choice? Da, da, da. And do you know what? Every time I've expanded, do you know how I've done it? I've just said to myself, fuck it, I'm going to do it.
because there's no right time.
There's not, if you try and like time it, there's not. Like any time I've bought a new machine, like I just got a new 6-head in last week and I'm running at full capacity. And, you know, I'm usually 5 to 7 working days turnaround on any size job.
Wow.
And it's pushing me back now to 10 days. My customers, they like it really, really quick.
Yeah.
So another machine, been doing interviews today, trying to find an experienced embroiderist is a nightmare, but we're slowly getting there. You just have to like work at capacity, and then you go, right, I need to get one. When should I do it? Do it now. Do it now. You know?
Yeah.
But you've also need to I've got very lucky, and this is back to who do I ask advice. I got told when I got into embroidery that there was one of 3 machines to buy, right? It was Tajima, it's Happy Japan, or it was Bowden or Bowden.
Yeah. That's apparently like the Rolls Royce one, isn't
Well,
it?
it's expensive.
Yeah,
right?
that's probably why they got it.
But as we all know, Rolls Royces have BMW engines. So, you know, if it's just a pretty badge on it, so I linked up with Happy Japan, and Dean, the owner, right? He helped
They're all
me.
called Dean in the print industry, aren't they? Everyone's Dean.
Dean, John, or Paul, right?
Yeah.
So I rang Dean and I explained what I was trying to do and that I needed some help, and he helped me out, and I've stayed loyal with him because he helped me out. But do you know what? From running those machines for the last 4 years or whatever, they are awesome machines, like really, really good machines. Now, Dean, the owner, I see him as like he's I want to say he's 61, 62. He's been in the game a long, long time. Picking his brains is a really valuable thing for me because he's there kind of at ground zero.
Yeah, he's seeing all the businesses.
He's seeing it all, you know, and he's saying, Freddie, just stay in your own lane. Don't try and move out of that because that lane's heavily clogged up with traffic. That lane, the tarmac isn't even laid yet, so I wouldn't get into that yet. Stay with what you're doing, and that's why I've stayed loyal with him now. I've got 20 heads here now, so all happy.
Yeah.
All happy, and I will stay with Happy for however long.
Yeah.
Tajima, I've heard there's some issues and some problems, but you know, it's hearsay. People say about Happy. I think that maybe Tajima and Happy are kind of on the same sort of scale on, you know, how many machines they've got out there. I just prefer a Happy. I guess it's the difference between an Audi and a Mercedes. It does the same things, just different buttons.
Yeah.
But they're also very good on the 3D embroidery. Like 3D embroidery smashes the machine to bits. You know,
I was thinking if that's like one of your like prerequisites when you were like figuring out what machines to get, but you're like telling them I'm doing 3D cap embroidery.
Yeah.
It's caps. It's just because it's kind of like you might know a bit more about the technicalities of the embroidering caps. Because when I try and do it, I always get needle break, and then I'm thinking, is this the hat? And then some people are saying like steam the hat first to kind of soften it. Do you think all that's bollocks? No. It's just
we get our machines set up when they come. Right now, the engineer can tweak the machine to what you do the most of. So, for instance, we've got 2 6-head that we use for caps. We've got 1 6-head that we use for flats. We don't mix. We only keep those machines to do that work. And then our one heads, we just mix and match. So the engineer comes and will say, right, what is this machine for? And we'll go, this is going to be predominantly for 3D caps. Now, don't hold me to this because I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that he sets the needle bar a little bit lower. So when the needle is driving, it's giving more power when it hits the cap than if the needle bar was set up.
Like punching through somebody's head.
That's it. And I want to say we don't even change the needles. You know, I can't remember the last time we had a needle break.
Really? Oh
Like,
God, yeah.
Emma,
I'm doing something wrong, but it's never been my yeah.
It's difficult. Emma, who is my manager, she is a whiz kid and she knows everything. Now, when she come to me, she was fresh out of university and she might have told a porcupine on her CV. Like I said, I didn't look at the CV. I said, can you frame a garment? And she could. And I said, right, you're employed. And she took a little bit of time to get used to it all. And then she got thrown in the deep end. And luckily, she swam.
Yeah.
And ever since that was about 3 years ago, and ever since then, she's just come on leaps and bounds. Now she controls it all. Right? She is my right-hand man in a sense, and I've got Artin as well, who's probably my left-hand man. You know, but Emma, she will know everything, and if there's a problem, she sorts everything out. She knows if I need to call the engineer, then yeah, that's cool. And then she's got good relationships. That's another thing, to have a good relationship with your engineer. So when you need them, that's quite important. But you've got to have people that know what they're doing around you. Yeah. Otherwise, if you hit the frame on your embroidery,
I've heard, haven't done it.
If you do something wrong and you bugger a 35 grand machine, and it's your fault, the warranty doesn't cover it. That's your fault. And these embroidery machines, they're not cheap, like parts. Like I've heard scare stories of people like writing off machines, literally writing off a machine. And it's 2 years old. Yeah. And because it's user error. But then most of the time, the embroidery machine, if there's something wrong, it will give you like a warning. It will tell you something's not right. It's if you choose to keep pressing the green button, Yeah,
I've done it though, Freddie. I've pushed, I've been really close to the end of the job and I'm just like, I don't know what is happening here. Even if it's like thread break, and I'm just like, just keep fucking threading it, keep pressing the green button until the job's done.
What machine have you got?
I've just got a Melco because it was just it was like not the cheapest machine, but it was like affordable and
that's
still a
the
professional.
One that's got like a TV remote on the side.
Yeah, it kind of looks like that. Yeah.
How have you got on with that? Flats all right, like flat garments?
Yeah, you can, a lot of the time you can just put it on, let it run, and then I'm screen printing and then I come back when I've finished something and then I just swap it out. It's not my main job, but I think it's me not knowing certain technicalities that I've never really bothered to learn very in depth. So I think I push it through a little bit more than I should, but I'm getting better. It does the caps.
Do you actively promote that you sell embroidery, that you do embroidery?
Not really. It's just like they assume that I do because I screen print, and then I just kind of do. I kind of mainly do it for my own brand stuff.
So you've got your own brand as well? Is that, I had a quick look, is that something faggot or maggot?
It's not faggot.
What's it called?
Blind maggot, yeah.
Sorry. I don't know why. What? I drove past the pub earlier and they go, come in to try the faggots. Do you know what? It's this like neat thing. That's what they've got your own brand.
That was the reason for that is so that we can make stuff that we like the look of and we're off doing customer stuff a little bit more. We can dictate what jobs we're doing day to day and work on fun projects. That is the point of it.
And to make an extra little bit of money as well.
Yeah, exactly. But make our money through stuff that's really enjoyable instead of stuff that gets like just put on you, that just comes in. I really like your idea of taking not having a website for that side of it.
Do you know what as well? Do you know what a lot of people say, right?
Yeah.
It's like, we couldn't find you, so we wanted to find you more.
Yeah.
You know?
I get it.
It's very
really
like, not secretive, but you kind of got to know. You've got to know someone that knows someone. Like, yeah, you can message me through my Instagram, but should I? This is terrible, right?
Go on.
People are probably going to hate me for this. 90% of the message requests that I get, I read it, I swipe to the left, and I delete.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because I cannot. There's a way of asking someone, right? And there's a way of inquiring about a product or a service. Now, through doing this for so many years, I know within the first 2 sentences.
What are your red flags, Freddie?
Yo, bro, can I get a sample?
Sample, and then they're like, discount, and you're like, I have no.
I don't do samples.
You don't, yeah, but you don't even know what the price is, and you're asking for a discount.
I don't do samples. That's it. You've got to come with a confirmed order. You've got to pay the money up front, and then I do it. You know. Another red flag is, can I come down and see you and speak?
Oh, yeah.
Now, sometimes when I've said, yeah, that's fine. Can I ask what you're looking to produce? Have you got any visuals, any tech packs to do? I almost like try and flood them, right? To see if they float or they sink. Most of the time I don't get a reply. Yeah,
because that could be a 2-hour conversation of bullshit that doesn't go anywhere.
It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare, right? But once you're in and you kind of know how we work, we can be very quick if we need to be, right? We're very efficient. There's no
games or
there's no like hoops to jump through with us, right? Once you confirm our visual and once you've paid the money, that's it. You're locked in. We're doing the job, you know, and we will do the job exactly as the visual is with all the tech packs, measurements. We follow that to a T, so we'll always send a visual, right? And then as well, what we always do as well, because what you see on screen and what you see in real life is different. That first one that comes off the machine, I'll just run one on the first one. I'll send the customer a picture and they'll say, good to go.
Nice.
Once they say yes, that's them saying like, yeah, you know? So that's them taking responsibility as well. We don't make rejects.
Yeah.
You know, if the one time someone made a reject here, they had to pay for it. And they don't make rejects again. You know? But I have full, it's going to sound a bit like controlling, but I have full control about what goes on here. Nothing can leave here without me checking it. Nothing can be no production can start until I've checked the sample. You know, because I find that if you just spend that extra couple of minutes, it's going to make life a lot easier.
Exactly, and your reputation is going to follow you. I was on the markets the other week, just selling shirts, just whatever, and someone came up to me and they were telling me about the reputation of someone who I thought was amazing, and they were saying how like let down they were. And this person is like just a random person off the street telling me about this, and I'm like, shit, that one job. How many people is this person going to tell? And they've already told like 2 or 3 people, and then found out about us. Thankfully,
word travels fast.
Yeah,
you know? But you're based in Newbury.
Yeah,
Where is that's Reading?
It's like near Reading, yeah.
So I take it there's other screen printers in your local area.
They're not around anymore.
So whatever,
Yeah.
right?
They floated off into
They
the
floated
ether.
off, not non-existent, right? So in your area, you guys are known as the print shop, right?
Yeah.
But go on, you were going to say.
I'm cringing in my face because I'm not very accessible. I'm not like a nice, friendly print shop that you can just walk in and get a job done by.
Can you I take it, if I type in your company, I can, your address, your number, your email address, everything. You are
we're visible.
a print shop.
Yes.
Right? Have you cornered your area, or do you try and stay away, in the sense of, are you doing jobs for local sports teams, local WI meetings, you know, the normal run-of-the-mill, one colour, 30 t-shirts, Gildan t-shirt, nice and easy?
Not really. We've kind of got like, we used to do whatever came in, and then we closed our books completely to all of it because we just got sick of it, and I wasn't enjoying it anymore and I hated it. And then just dealing with all those types of jobs that you just said. And then we've opened it up to maybe like a really short client list of like maybe 10 or 15 people that we enjoy working with.
Local?
No, they are around. There's like a few brands, like some breweries, like a couple of pubs know they can get work done with us. But yeah, a lot of I'd say we reject like at least 80% of jobs straight off, just because we don't want to do it. And there's better people for it. And we've got other ways of, you know, we're still in the industry, but we're servicing it from different angles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I've been following you, right, for about a year, and what you've done on like the whole social media platform is amazing.
Oh, thank you.
It really is, because it's giving like a day-to-day rundown of what it actually involves being a garment decorator. You know, there's this, I can't remember, there's this American family that's got this YouTube channel, I'm sure you could tell me, and it's like a day in the life of a printer, and they...
A family?
Is it a family?
There are a few like famous YouTuber people.
I think he's like a redneck geezer, and he's always drinking like Gatorade or something. Or I'll have to come back to
you DM me who it is, because that's funny.
But it shows you like step by step,
and
it shows you, you know, the guts and the glory. You know, I feel like you guys are kind of the only ones in the UK that are doing that. I
don't know of any other UK ones. I feel like individual shops are kind of doing it as promotion for their studio, but I don't know any like tutorial based ones as far as I know.
You and your company are what the young kids that can't expose the image, right?
Yeah.
Are looking at your videos going, that's how you do it.
Hopefully, right?
Yeah. You are giving the next generation of
wannabe entrepreneurs and stuff,
mentalists and psychotics and, you know, all mannerisms of mental illnesses, because you've got to be working.
That's why we want to work with those people. I don't want to be working with the drones and the people who are just going to fit into a shit job. I just don't want to be. I don't want to deal with it.
That's who you're giving hope to. Is, you know, the extrovert. Yeah. Extrovert, you know, the arty kid at school, you know, the ones that don't fit into the norm. So I think what you guys are doing is a really cool thing. You know?
That's very kind. I think what you're doing is very cool, and it's good that I've got this opportunity to talk to you, because yeah, how would that happen unless we like bumped into each other and just found out that we were printers? You don't have to have these conversations.
Well, I've been following you, right? So I've been watching you, How did you find me? Off of the Instagram videos?
Yeah, you were tagged in, I think it was an Images magazine like special thing about you, about one of your items, and it said like, oh, this has been, you were just like tagged as a specialist somewhere.
Yeah.
And then I just like followed you all the way through, and I thought your Instagram was really unique. So I thought I definitely have to figure out who's behind this. And then you're right with the intrigue thing where you're basically a ghost.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It depends what, like, some people they want. See, the problem is so it's not a problem. I see it as maybe a problem. You are the face of your company, right? I don't want my face to be on the company. I want the company to be all about the company.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm
coming from education, so I have to be personable. So, but yeah, you're
of
coming
course,
from like quality and.
Yeah, I like the whole mysterious, kind of thing. I think it kind of adds something into it, and I think that especially now in an image-based world, like I'm covered in tattoos. Right? I'm a big guy. I swear, I wear lots of jewelry. People think I'm a gypsy, right? And I feel like maybe I'm going to give off the wrong image, and I don't want to like scare potential people off. As soon as I get people in it, like it changes because I show them what's doable. So the bottom level here is production, and top level we've got 1,000 square feet showroom, and I made it.
Yes, your showroom. Shit, I have that here. It is very nice, isn't it?
Do you know what? You'll be surprised what you can do with a lick of paint and some carpet tiles.
And
right?
some neon and some of those, the presentation of all the caps. That is literally, I underlined talking about that, but yeah, we went off on one, Freddie.
They all they are shoe racks that I bought off Amazon, but it's just having it laid out nicely. If people can come in and see what you can do without asking any questions, it's brilliant, And I just let people come in and they can go through all the rails and they can ask as many questions as they want before they pay any money. So what I'll be able to do is look on Instagram, have a conversation, see if they're worth actually having a chat with. 9 times out of 10, people want to put a face to the name before they pay any money. So I understand it because I'm the same. So they want to come down, they want to feel like relaxed here. So can we get you a beer? We've got PlayStation there. We've got big couches, and it's like I want people to be in a relaxed environment where they feel like
seen.
They feel like they're in good hands in a sense. They can trust you. And they know that everything's relaxed. And plus, once they come here, they know where you're based. So you can't run away.
Yeah.
Once, you don't have to meet anyone. That's up to you. You can swipe and delete and no one's ever going to know where you are. It doesn't matter. Once people are here, I think they understand, these guys know what they're talking about. We are not cheap, though. We are one of the more expensive people in the industry. But you get what you pay for.
I've just thought about what you're like. Instead of like a pub or like a Wetherspoons or even like any of those kind of like high street pubs, you're like the cocktail bar that's hidden behind the fridge in the back of in the back of the chippy or something. So
everyone always asks. There's this laundromat in Australia, right, where they open the thing up.
That's what you are.
I've been called worse, don't worry. Yeah, we just do our own thing. We're not looking to like be the biggest, right? We're looking to be the best, 100%. But the best in what I do. There's other big firms out there in the UK that got 300 heads. But when you look at what they're actually doing and how much they're making and what they're having to do to make that.
The stress as well, yeah.
Is it worth it? You need to employ 150 people. Why not keep it tight? You can only drive one car. You can only sleep in one bed. You can only wear one watch.
Right. Yeah, but I bet you've got lots of watches.
No.
You've got a poster of a watch in the back. I just don't believe that you've only got one watch.
You could at a time.
Oh, sorry.
At a time, right? You know, how much is enough?
Yeah.
You know, I think that goes with everything in life.
That's really cool. I love that. Can we round it up there? I think that you've given us a lot to think about, and I really admire what you've done there, and I appreciate your perspective and how you're like open about talking about money, and
Of course.
yeah, I like your values. Yeah.
So I will say one more thing, right? I'll go back on the money thing. I think we're all taught now to be like, you know, conservative and not be competitive, you know, and you know, you get a medal now just for turning up, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like,
And a handout as well.
if you're competitive, you're seen as like a monster. But being a monster, in my mind, is a brilliant thing, because we have a very short time on this. This is some preaching stuff, right?
Yeah.
Very short time in this world, right? Why not do what you love and try and make the best out of it while you're doing it?
Yeah.
You know?
I know. Why would you leave anything on the table if you don't have to?
Well, you look, what? No one, no, there's no safety net.
Yeah.
Right? There's not. We're lucky this country got welfare and all of that, but you know, just go out and grab it and just keep going, you know, anything. And you'll succeed and you'll have a great life and you'll be free, you know. Don't work for 40 years to then retire at 60 and die at 70.
Yeah.
Why did I do that? You know, work hard while you can, while you're young. Work your balls off. Make some sacrifices while you're young, and then when you get a little bit older, you can be relaxed. You can watch your kids grow up. You can watch your seeds that you've planted grow.
That's our clip. Didn't want to ruin it at the end.
So it's really good to make contact with other people. I don't really speak to any other one in the industry.
Yeah. Who else would you want me to interview? Or you kind of like haven't, he's kind of like...
No, do you know what? Mr. Snappy, right?
His name is just...
He is, honestly, he is one of the people that I look up to. Right?
Okay, yeah.
He's amazing. He's just opened up this new showroom / shop in London. He's doing really well. He is an OG of the game, right? What he doesn't know about caps, it's not worth knowing, you know. He's a really good guy. There's also Adrian at Quick Shirts, right? He's been in the game a long time, worked in all the big print shops, now doing his own thing.
Oh, cool.
He's the best printer I've ever met. And I've met hundreds of printers. And he honestly is the best. And he's a friend of mine as well. And I've got a lot of time for Adrian, you know.
I'll use your recommendation when I'm asking him.
No, of course.
It's not out of the blue. So he doesn't like swipe left on me. Like
no. He will, with Adrian, it's very black and white. You know, where he's Polish, right? They've got a completely different...
Yeah,
mentality.
I know. I've worked with Polish people.
Life is, you know?
You think they're being stern, but actually they're just being truthful.
That's
which
normal.
is, yeah.
That's what we lack. Do you know what? That's what we lack. Just straight up, just say it how it is.
We're like, oh, you can't say that. Oh. They've already done it.
Are you going to be at Printwear?
Yeah.
Have a look, yeah?
Yeah.
Good to go and see, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to see you up there.
Okay.
Real life, innit? We try and be true. That's the main thing. You know?
Yeah.
Thank you for the opportunity.
No problem. Okay, I'll speak to you soon.
See you later.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.